What is up, YouTube? McIntyre here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys and go over a gameplay that happened at BlizzCon that is my personal favorite. I had a pre-BlizzCon show where I talked about BlizzCon and my expectations for BlizzCon, and one of the teams that I talked about I thought would personally do well was Fnatic, and I thought that their team chemistry and their ability to play together would take them far if they executed things properly and went in with their own strategy. So today I'm going to be going over one of their gameplays and my personal favorite of BlizzCon that I think a lot of people missed. It was very exciting when it happened, but then that last game against Ballistics, where like it was on Warhead Junction, was like so hype. Plus the fact that Fnatic went to beat MVP Black kind of overshadowed this game, and for that reason I wanted to go over it. Fnatic has some really good shot calling in this game towards the end of the game that lead to them winning the series and game. So, you know, power to them on that. I also really like to see how they handle a very pressured situation and talk about kind of some of the mistakes that ZeroPanda makes and some of the mistakes that Fnatic makes. So I'm focusing on both of their mistakes this game, and just kind of talking about things that I like, things that I don't like, and I'll also be going over the draft prior to doing any of that, and talking about the draft and where I like the draft goes and where I don't like. So it's just kind of an overall analysis video. I'm not going to be casting the game, but more or less just talking through it. It's just going to be my voice. There's going to be no other music, so if you guys like critiquing and you like hearing a deeper analysis of pro games, this video is going to be right up your alley. And if you like kind of flashy things, it might not be so much, but I do believe that if you watch this, you will learn a lot about why teams do certain things, and you'll kind of learn and see, you know, what a team does that wins them the game. A lot of people struggle in Heroes of the Storm to find a way to win, and in this video I will talk a lot about what teams are doing to win the game. So again, hope you guys enjoy so much, and I will see you all next video. Alright guys, so here is a screenshot of the final draft. In this game, ZeroPanda was first pick and Fnatic being second pick. It's very interesting that ZeroPanda actually bans off Illidan. For me, the first pick team always has priority on Illidan, because they can take Illidan first pick, and then they have the choice of Abathur or Tassadar for second, third pick. A lot of people would argue that and say, well, first pick needs to take the Muradin, and then or the stun tank, and then, you know, if you take that, then second pick takes Illidan Tass, and it's hard to deal with. It is true to some, you know, sort of sense, but it's interesting here because Fnatic doesn't really play Illidan. I guess Wubby could probably play it, but I don't really see them playing that character a lot. So it's an interesting ban. Maybe they scouted that in draft. And we have Fnatic banning out Zeratul. The Chinese teams are very good at Zeratul, so I think that's a good ban. It also stuffs out the Abathur clone on Zeratul, which we see ZeroPanda does end up going, and they have to clone Tychus, which isn't near as strong as the Zeratul, right? You do have the strength with the Muradin Abathur on their side though, and you do get global pressure with Brightwing. So I mean, Abathur hat on Muradin has always been a powerful thing. Now looking into the first pick, you know, we take Muradin on ZeroPanda's side. I don't know if that's an uninformed pick, but ETC for me this patch has been the overperformer above the two stun tanks, and Fnatic also kind of, they don't anchor on the pick, but Breeze is incredibly comfortable on it, and it ends up paying off in the late game, as you'll see in this game, with Breeze having that pick. So it's very interesting that they take the Muradin, and then Falstad is also followed up from Fnatic. So they now have their two global heroes, and they can pressure from there. And the rest of the draft kind of is flexible. And then we see the Brightwing Abathur pick up. Again, I think Brightwing's strong hero on Curse, a strong hero in general, and the Abathur has really good synergy with Muradin. Plus it's Curse Hollow, so this is kind of Abathur's map. We then see the Medivh ban, which I think was another sign, like a scouting from Scrims. Medivh double clone is really powerful and annoying to deal with, so I think it's not a bad ban here, and I don't know ZeroPanda's style, but it is something that a lot of teams will try to do. So, pretty cool pick. And then we have the Dahaka ban. Dahaka does fairly well against Abathur if Abathur wants to body soak. Plus, at this point, Fnatic was very all in on the Dahaka and had been playing it a lot, so I think it was just a strong ban in general. Ends up forcing a last pick Stitches, which is, to me, kind of insane, but so now we go into Fnatic's second two picks. Li Ming mouth pick going through here. Why not, you know? Such a strong hero on this patch. And we have the Li Ming as well that follows up great with the ETC. I'm not super into Li Ming Falstad together because they're both poke, so no one's really auto-attacking for either of those heroes. But I think Falstad plays fairly aggressive for Fnatic. Quack does on him, so that's a lot of the auto damage. And then we responded on ZeroPanda's side with Tychus Tyrael. It's very Chinese meta. The Tychus and Tyrael, they like picking a hard carry as their range. Not usually like Li Ming, something Tychus, Greymane, Vala, an auto attacker, right? And the Tyrael just there to protect the Tychus. More or less just to protect the Tychus comp. We saw this at Summer Championship, honestly, coming out of the Chinese team. So, and then the spiciness comes in with the Fnatic's last pick of Stitches. I think that's why the Medivh honestly was banned. They might have gone into this comp wanting the Stitches. Medivh does do very good against Stitches, so maybe that was just a tech, ban for the Stitches last pick. I don't personally see what it does, but I guess the idea is to hit a hook, gorge someone, and then one-shot that person before anything can happen. Because the thing with Brightwing is she can't heal a person that's gorged. It's not like with a Uther D-Shield or a Monk Palm or a Rhaegar ult or a Malfurion Silence. Like, all these heroes have turnaround abilities on the Stitches Gorge where, I don't know. I think maybe Brightwing can poly the Stitches, but I still think the person's gorged. Maybe not. But yeah, Brightwing doesn't really have a way to get in on that person once they're getting one shot. So maybe that was the idea there. But we'll go into the game now, and we're going to talk about it, and I'll bring up all the things that I like and dislike, and yep, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so the game's starting up. We have ZeroPanda on the left, blue team, and Fnatic on the right, red team. My favorite, one of my favorite support players actually is GM, and one of my favorite melee players is M. I think he's very good. Both of those two are really good players. I met them both when we were in Korea too. And then we have Fnatic will be on the Stitches. I just really thought that pick was really interesting. So the first thing we want to look at here is Shwumpy throwing an orb and hitting the... they are, I believe, putting Abathur solo soak mid, which to me is really good because, on Curse Hollow, no one pushes mid. So if Abba solo soaks it, most of the time the mid laner pushes out and then rotates. And here you're going to see, if the solo mid doesn't push out, then Abba can hat soak. You just saw there that his hat died. But if they do push in, then you just sit behind the wall and you soak the XP on the tower. And basically what this allows you to do is hat other lanes and potentially cause 3v4s. You're looking for 2v1s, right? Here we go. We have a 3v2, right? Or in this case, they were on a 3v1 on Breeze for a good few seconds. They even forced this because this is a 3v4. This is what I'm talking about. With the Abba hat, this is a 3v4. And as you see, Shwumpy just pushed out mid, and Abba's just soaking on mid towers. The ammo mid doesn't really mean anything on this map. I mean, the tower XP is nice, but most of the time the map kind of funnels into mid, and you'll defend those towers before the enemy just takes them for free. So I like this positioning. Tyrael, though, honestly don't think that he needs to be rotating middle, but he's pushing mid out and then rotating bot to try to find a pick. We see here, Tyrael Tychus are going to be going off the easies. They're getting in position. Incredibly early rotation, actually. 10 seconds before it spawns. Most teams knock out mid wave right now and then do it. But with the Abathur, they can soak mid. It doesn't matter, right? Like Fnatic was, I think, got to the camp at the correct time. Like they showed up right then. But honestly, as long as you do the camp when it spawns, it's good. Like you want to get this camp out before the curse spawns, and that's the only thing that's important. Whether you do it at the very beginning, you wait 10 seconds, or you do it 10 seconds after, you want to get it out because when this first curse spawns, depending on which side it spawns on, it can screw one team. Or, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like right now, we have Easiest pushing top with Brightwing and Abathur. And Fnatic has to rotate bottom to contest this, okay? So if ZeroPanda can get any stalls on this, which I don't know if they do, let's see. It's going to come up to Panda. That was a really good slide by Breeze as Panda was about to sword. So I was going to say, so if they get any breaks there, they're just so far ahead. Sadly, they position incorrectly, and they don't. I need to back it up a little bit. So the curse spawns. See, they actually got unlucky. So they were gonna try to gank top and then curse spawn bottom, and because of that, they get punished because Fnatic is in position since they were pushing bottom lane, and they get this curse for free. This is actually a big deal because they would have gotten so much value with the top Easies and Brightwing top, and Stitches even stays top. So it would have been like a 4v5 with Stitches top and Easy sieging with Abathur soaking. And instead, Fnatic immediately gets it, and they're up XP against Abathur comp. Plus curse. They're up XP and curse against Abathur comp. Like, you never... It's like... Sometimes you want to try to stall, and if you can't, like, we see here this Brightwing's taking this QQ build at level 1 and 4, and that is solely because of the purpose of stalling. Like, they want to be able to stall tribs for a while, and with this Brightwing talent, like, it's going to give CDR on Q plus range on Q, so you should be able to just, like, launch Qs and have the double tank protect him. So we'll see here now, Fawcett stays bot. Ooh, I need a coffee, guys. I need a freaking coffee. So Brightwing stays top, or Fawcett stays bot is gonna soak out, and Fnatic's just gonna kind of chill. They don't have to get this, and they're getting, you know, soak in the off lane during this to get maybe 7 and then try to force. Abathur responds with obviously Zing down, so now Abathur's gonna try to body soak bot, but he doesn't know where Fawcett's at. But this is just a 4v4. Nothing's going on. Neither team cares about the trib. They're more focused on soaking. As you can see, Tierlist bopping between trib and top, trying to soak top and contest trib. So, yeah. So we still have Fawcett. They're like at this point, Fnatic's like, oh, this is fine. Like Fawcett's just AFK pushing bot. Abathur can't soak against it. The only problem here is that if you look at the lane soak, ZeroPanda is getting triple soak, and Fnatic's only getting double soak because they're getting mid and bot, whereas ZeroPanda has top, mid, and bot soak coming in. There's no way in the world that ZeroPanda gets that channel. So I like really hate that M even threatens it because Fnatic wants that. Like, ZeroPanda was in a great spot to just continue to get triple soak, and instead he tries the channel to be cheeky. There's like so many things going on wrong there. One, Malf has Aloons at 4, like Moonfire all day. Stitches, Hook, like they want that, right? They end up getting 2 kills now. They're gonna get the trib. Okay, they get 3 kills and trib. Like, all because Tyrael tried to be cheeky and channel. Like it, and in that spot too, like I might have even done the same thing, but looking at it right here, there's just no reason to. Instead, you just get triple soak and you continue to just poke at them. Now they're in a terrible spot. They really need to try to get 10 somehow. If they don't get 10 before next trip, they just like lose the game. Like Fnatic's 2 out of 3. They're gonna get hard camps out. They're gonna get easy camps out. They're still kind of, yeah, they're still getting triple soak. But if ZeroPanda gets 10 prior to this trip, they're going to be in a good spot because their 10 is actually really strong with either the double Tychus clone, double Murden clone. Either or is really strong. So we see Quack just kind of chilling down here. Again, they're trying to just soak up, keep the soak going. And we see ZeroPanda has hit 10. So it was a semi-late spawn. And now we have a forced fight immediately. Tyrell dies, but he's going to get a big blow up. And they end up killing Falstad. And potentially ETC. Okay, so no ETC. But they do... So they do take the Odin. And again, this is like very hyper carry focused. Like Odin is going to be their carry. Protect Odin. Have Tychus clone. You know, create space and be effective too with his minigun and his overkill. So in that spot, I like that. They immediately force. This is something that Chinese teams do, and like this is something NA doesn't do at all, really. And it's sad, but it's true. Like ZeroPanda hit 10 and immediately forced. Like no hesitation, they all committed. So much to the point that Tyrell just jumped in and immediately died. But like he blew up and they continued to fight, right? Like in NA, like Tyrell goes in and dies, and then everyone's like, "Oh, we lost a fight." Like, and here it's like Tyrell's blowing up, like, "Go, go, go! We're still going. We're still fighting. Like it's 4v5. We are still fighting." So, I really like that commitment. You saw Fnatic did not have time to get those easies, so they're picking them up now. I have Hardcamp pushing mid, Easy pushing bot. Good spawn on Trib. You can defend the Easies and contest this point. Abathur is going to get a huge push top, and Brightwing's chilling up there too. So. Tychus has Odin in 10 seconds. And we see a clone too. So what we'll probably see is Tychus grenade to stall. So again, look at this force. Like to protect, in order to try to protect the Murden, and Sync does get off. And now this is where trouble is a brewing for Fnatic. If they don't get a pick on that Gorge, like it's all over. And their strategy is, oh nice, good try by C. If he hit that grenade, I think he kills Breeze. But so our strategy is like Gorge Gust, right? Gorge Gust and then kill the person. So that's why I think the Medivh was definitely a planned ban. Like they knew that they were gonna take the Stitches here for this comp. I mean, this reminds me a lot of like Butcher comp back when like Butcher would Lamb of the Slaughter into Gust. Like I thought that was really powerful. And this kind of is the same sort of thing. Gorge them into Gust. And it's the same. It works the same way, right? ZeroPanda, though, did take the Tyrell to protect from that. I don't know, like, they didn't obviously know that they would be taking this kind of combo. But it is really powerful. So for me, this is one of the biggest fights of the game that's about to come up. We have 2 3s on both sides and bosses pushing. Okay? If Curse spawns, then whoever wins that Curse just spikes in the game. Like 2-level lead. Like, because boss is going to push plus, what's it called? Boss is going to push plus you get triple soak, especially with the Abathur. Unfortunately, though, I guess not unfortunately, fortunately, I have to pause. So fortunately, the Curse now spawns top. So this creates a ton of space for ZeroPanda. Because not only now do they have boss pushing bot, let's just say hypothetically, if they do win this trip, then Fnatic has to back to defend this, which is going to take forever. Also, they get to, now ZeroPanda just gets to defend this boss for free because they're on the top side, right? So, but if they do win this, then they're going to get way far ahead. We see here a Gorge hook. Murden just instant dies. No, he does not, because Abathur hat. See, Abathur went spike kill at 13, and I think that kept him alive there. So, Murden OP. Maybe that's why they first picked him. And we see a little tango going on top with Tychus. But we have a double Tychus clone. And I think the clone ends up killing Quack here. Because Quack has to stall. He has to stall this. Ooh, that grenade. Oh, and the Gus misses the Tychus channeling. So now this is where the spike for ZeroPanda is going to happen. So now as you see, Fnatic's going to rotate to they have to rotate to the boss bottom because they have to defend it. Otherwise, the towers won't shoot it, and it'll just get infinite value. But in doing so, they give up top mid soak during all of this. And now you're going to see, like I said, like almost a 2-level advantage. It'll probably be about a level and a half. But we're going to get double fort, double mid towers. We're going to get triple lane soak because of Abathur. And they're probably going to force keep wall somewhere. Either mid or top. Depending on where they want to go. Top, I say top because there's a huge wave top. And Fnatic hasn't cleared it. Like on forts during Curse, because of the way the fort like builds up minion waves, you end up getting like a huge minion wave that's just all punching the fort, right? And a lot of times if you push with those type of waves, you can get a lot of value. So, but yeah, so we see at least a level advantage coming out of that one curse. So really good, and this level advantage is going to carry ZeroPanda, right? It's like a lot of people would say, well, yeah, but if Fnatic gets a curse, like, they're back in the game, and that is true. But because of the level advantage, it's going to be a lot harder for now Fnatic to get curse, right? If they fight, they might be talents down. So that's hard to win a fight, but we're going to see how the rest of the game comes out. I mean, they're getting the easies. They have easy hards up on Fnatic's side, so I would assume that they'll both probably hit both of those up. Just get everything pushed out. We have Wubby just chilling down there, trying to control the eye, just in case like Murden shows up by himself. Brightwing soaking top without pushing. May as well be up there. See, you know how Wubby was holding the eye? Well, now they took the eye. So now they have control of the bot side of the map. So Fnatic's just now looking like they're soaking for 16. They want to fight for these hards. This hard fight is actually like a comeback fight. If they have 16, it's a comeback fight in the sense that like comeback fights come from doing silly objectives that don't mean anything, but you can catch fights from them. So sometimes teams can test hards there, and it's one of Fnatic's only ways to come back is to fight on that objective, and the other team could throw if they use their ults incorrectly or something like that. Even though they're a talent down, it's like it's a fight where if Fnatic plays mechanically better, they'll come out ahead. And you see ZeroPanda just doesn't contest. Just continue to hold your level lead and keep everything pushed in. And this is going to pressure them during next curse. We also, again, have an insanely good spawn for ZeroPanda. I think ZeroPanda is like 4-0 on good curse spawns. Like, I think casters don't normally talk about curse spawning locations. I think they might mention it every once in a while, but like literally ZeroPanda has gotten money spawns every single time. So we have M playing up. They're just pressuring. They just want to get the trib. They get a free trib, essentially. Even at even talents and almost even levels. Because ZeroPanda is so pushed in, right? It's hard for Fnatic to position correctly to contest that spawn. That's another reason why that was such a good one. Let's see if Murden lives here. Oh, that grenade. Now they're going to turn. This is where I think ZeroPanda should come out on top of this fight. The stun missed on Murden. Okay, got him anyways. That's honestly a really bad stun to miss. Let's watch that again. So, like, whenever I throw skill shots, you basically always wait until the person, like, has no other way to get away. So, M throws an insane Q. Really, really strong Q, right? And here, like, Murden throws a hammer into the holy ground. Like, all he has to do is throw it along the building here, right? Like, ETC's path is along my mouse. It's the only path he can take, but Murden throws it this way. Do you see that? Like, into a path that ETC can't take. And he almost lives because of his double W. So, that would have been funny. Ooh, nice hook by Wubby. Fishing for hooks, and he's hitting them. So now we have two bosses up. And I think we're going to see a boss trade. In this case, it's favorable for ZeroPanda because two reasons. One, their Tyrell's dead, so if they're trading bosses with one of their heroes dead, that's favorable, right? The other reason is that if Fnatic does top boss, it's still a fort there, so it's not going to push near as well as ZeroPanda's, where they're bottom. Here we go. Again, ZeroPanda getting somehow these just insanely good spawns. Like, they got top left, then bottom left when they're on left side. Like, imagine if this trip spawned bot right, if Fnatic gets this easily, or top right, Fnatic gets that easily. Instead, it spawns bottom left. Like, oh my goodness, that's frustrating to even watch. But double Tychus clone almost just bodies out Stitches. It might even get him. Oh, so close. Fishing hook. Really good ice block by Gemini. He didn't even see that either. He reacted to hook when he saw it here. He couldn't, I don't think he had vision of Wubby throwing it, so that's mechanical skill right there. That's like this type of stuff that really impresses me when players do stuff like that. Because I think he had like maybe 0.3, 0.4 seconds to react to the hook animation over the wall. But I'm sure they've been talking a lot about it this game, because it's really important that no one gets hooked. So Alot has insane mines. I just want to like make sure the teams don't get bossed. So you see these mines all around the bosses to make sure the other team can't get them. Plus they're slow, so if they do invade, like potentially get turned on. And he took charge slow mine. Yeah, he took charges too, so he's got a lot of them. Nowadays you see Abbas take like needle spine, attack speed, but yeah, I think the slow mines are still good. They just beat up a lot of teams' rotations, and if people run into the mines, then they're dead. Like, it's just, you can mine behind a lot of the time. A lot of Avathers don't do that too. Like, mine behind the enemy. Like here, if he starts mining behind them and they try to retreat, again, GMGs. Gemini just insane mechanics. He's gonna Z to Tychus, try to give a spell shield on Murden. Good cleanse too. They immediately win this fight now. If the cleanse gets out, oh, this is what I was talking about with the ETC. So Breeze has an insane mosh, but unfortunately Murden doesn't die still, and Sank gets off. I think this is a huge point in the game where like ZeroPanda is just gonna get infinite value, and I think this is the point in the game where I was screaming that the game should be over, and it somehow doesn't end here. So like, for one, I wouldn't have gone after Quack there. Like, just get this keep and then go do boss. Right? And then you win. So, in my head, I'm thinking they can just win. Like, just go do the enemy's boss. This is ZeroPanda's first slip up of the game. It's actually a really big one, too. 2018 fight, you win that every day of the week. If they had just came off of that fort, like that keep, like, all they had to do is come off of the keep. Like, they kept pushing. And again, they're trying to kill Quack here. They're wasting time and resources. But since they push so hard, they can't get they can't get Fnatic's boss, right? And I think that this is just a huge, huge, huge slip up. Like, they do get double keep, and that's really good. But they had a win condition set up for them. All they had to do is take that boss. Like, they even have Tyrael Holy Ground. Like, it's impossible for, like, False Out of Steel, right? You take that boss, and now Fnatic can't get the boss. Okay, so taking that boss makes it so Fnatic can't do this. And then, here's the second slip up. They're gonna try to do this boss, and then they hesitate, and then try to go steal this boss. And Fnatic here, this is one of my favorite calls of the game, and I think the one that won them the game. Is they're 19-20. This is the worst thing to do, but you have to. Like, this is your Hail Mary, they just rip their boss, and ZeroPanda is kind of flubbing around, kind of punt. They just basically punt here. Like, they punt the game. Like, you can see Murden is soaking this. What? Like, they have an Abathur and Murden soaking bot lane, because I think at this point ZeroPanda thinks they've won, right? So we have Murden soaking bot during Curse. Tychus is like about to start hard camp. They're thinking about bossing, and then they realize that the enemy's boss is up, and like because Fnatic is so quick and decisive, they end up getting this boss, and so this saves them from the win condition that I was talking about. Like if ZeroPanda gets that boss, they just push through top, and that's game over. The game is over from there. Tyrael with Sync with that much damage on core with boss there's no way to defend that. So now ZeroPanda has to defend this. Okay, they are getting 0 value out of their 20s. Like they had the 2018 and now it's 2020 almost. And Fnatic is now going to threaten their boss. Good thing the Avatar has mines, so the Abba's playing really good. And I was playing Abba last night and like Z to body soak and died to Haka. Like this Abba's playing good right now. It's sitting behind a wall. Like the key to Avatar is not dying. But now, now we have top mid pressure from ZeroPanda, and all they have to do is just have Abba push top mid, and then float around the boss. So ZeroPanda has now blundered twice. They didn't do boss and win. They didn't do top boss, right, and win. Then they gave Fnatic top boss, and they didn't do their boss. So now because they didn't do, like, they could have just bossed and traded, right? And then they would have got bot keep. They would have defended. Everything would have been fine, right? They would have had triple keep if they had done their boss. Instead, they didn't. They tried to contest. Fnatic got the boss anyways. They wasted their time. Now they have their boss up, and Fnatic is just continuing to pressure it because it's, to them, one of their win conditions of this game. So now what ZeroPanda needs to do is threaten core. They need to push. They need to push into Fnatic. Because for me, if they can get people to back, then they can do boss. But at this point, if no one's pressuring, then yeah, this boss edge is going to clear everything up. So now we have a 2-3 curse. Has to be contested. And finally, Fnatic has some luck. So finally, Fnatic gets a top right spawn. And they say, oh, hey, guess what? We can just sack this because ZeroPanda has 0-3 on curse. So I like this sack, and they're still threatening boss, right? They haven't shown where they're at. So they're still threatening the idea that they could steal ZeroPanda's boss. And we see ZeroPanda still pushing in these waves, but as the minion waves get to the core, Quack's defending them. And it's because ZeroPanda is not forcing anything. Like, ZeroPanda needs to go in to the enemy. Like, they need to try to fight them so that QuackNix has to fly, and then we get pressure on core. And then Fnatic's in a bad spot. Instead, they're letting Falside just clear waves. Look, he's still clearing waves. And now they're thinking about fighting, right? This is what they needed to be doing when they had Hards pushing mid and Easy's pushing top. Instead, Quack's cleared both, and now the fight's happening. Tyrael does get his harden off. That's super important, but no heal comes out, so no sync happens. And this is where, this is honestly, like, right now, mid and top should be pushing in, And it's not. So it's a big deal. Okay, so something came up. But essentially, mid and top, all the pressure that they had built up, ZeroPanda, was allowed to be cleared, and then QuackNix then got to fly in, okay? And because of that, right now, technically the core should be getting threatened, right? Which puts Fnatic in a spot that they're nervous about. Instead, look where the waves are at. Wave is pushed out, wave is pushed out. There's no threat on core at all. So this team fight is just free. And, Tyrael's died, and ZeroPanda has to continue to fight. Because if they back down now, then Fnatic gets curse. And here we go. Fnatic is going to end up getting curse. Again, they get a really good spawn, bottom right. So now what curse is going to do is relieve all the pressure from their core and allow Fnatic space to do whatever they want. So typically, again, if we look at these minion waves, like, they're huge. These waves would have been pushing in if we didn't just let QuackNix clear them for free. Instead, we did, and now these minion waves no longer push in. Katas actually do a fairly good job of, like, freezing lanes, but because the minion waves are going to get eaten up by the towers, the Katas are going to immediately die. But Katas do a fairly good job of clearing the waves, as you see there. And now ZeroPanda is threatening core. Just because this seems like this is their play to win. It ends up biting them, though, I'm pretty sure, because of that gust. Oh, man. Such a good play by Gemini. Yeah, so let me watch this one more time. Although Gemini played this so well. So they threaten, and again, they didn't do this boss, and now Fnatic has a win condition from this boss. Like, it's insane to think about. But, yeah, Gemini played this so well. He cleanses Tychus, gets gusted into this building, right? Hook's about to hit. Blink heals Hook into immediate poly on Falstad. We almost kill Falstad if it wasn't for Smexy healing and cleansing. And then this Mosh just blows everyone away. And Fnatic ends up winning the game. Like a game that they, to me, had no right winning. It's just, it's so funny that, you know, that contest point was the deciding factor of this game. If ZeroPanda just does bot boss, then Fnatic can't do this, and ZeroPanda doesn't have to try to all-in core, like, for no reason. Like, because there's no threat. At worst, they lose keep to minion waves, right? And Fnatic pushing. Like, at worst, they lose keep. Instead, they end up getting cored because of the boss. So, it's insane to think how quick games can be decided and the little factors that decide them. And in this game, we saw with ZeroPanda was so far ahead, they got lazy, like that Murden going to soak bot when they have Abathur. So weird. Like things like that, you have to stay connected with this game. And you have to look for win conditions. For me, if I run this back to this point in the game, this is, to me, the point where ZeroPanda really goofed. Because they got so far ahead here. And I like pushing the wall here, okay? I like pushing the wall, and I like threatening this keep, okay? But at around this time, these guys are dead for 30 seconds. I would go and do the boss. Because these easies and this minion wave are going to chunk this down to maybe 20%, you know? Like, even if Quack comes out and defends, look how fast it's dying. Even right now, if they were to say, okay, let's leave. Like, mount up, rotate to boss. These guys aren't spawning for... You have 15 seconds to do boss. And instead, they get this double... They get the double keep. Right? Then they come off of their boss. Murden soaks out bottom, which was insane. They come off of the boss. Fnatic... This is the call that keeps Fnatic in this game. Fnatic doing this boss saves the game for them. And honestly, it doesn't even save it to the point that, like, it would have saved it, and if ZeroPanda had done their boss, they would have gotten triple keeped, but the game was still alive. So this boss call was insane. And then the last thing for me was here. Like, this really frustrates me seeing this. We have a huge wave mid and Brightling pushing top, and we just let, like look at where ZeroPanda is at. They're just letting Fnatic and Quacknix just clear this. This is a double cat of hard wave. And they're just letting them clear. Instead of forcing this, they just force. It's a 4v5. Like, force that. Even if Quacknix flies in, then you have Abathur pressuring core with double easy hard camp. I mean, double katas, double easies. You know, there's like 4 katas, a hard camp, and easy camp, right? If Quacknix had to fly down, mid would still be pushing with katas, and top would be pushing in, right? And then Fnatic would have to back up, then you can threaten boss. So these are all the misplays, and I think the plays that honestly decided this game. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. So hopefully if you enjoyed this video, make sure to throw a like on this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll try to make more content like this if you guys enjoy it. So let me know in the comments below if you did enjoy. I apologize for the yawns. I have not drank coffee today, and I should go drink some, so I probably will. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Again, check me out on my Twitch and Twitter located below, as well as my tier list. We'll see where the meta goes, and my tier list as variant just got released. So hopefully he'll bring more variants to the stun tank meta, as we see here, Murden ETC for life. But I'm out of here, guys. Thank you again so much, and I'll see you all next video.